Today we're going to be playing a deck I like to call Death Draw, and that is because we have a very deadly trio in this build that likes to deal a lot of damage to the opponent simply by us drawing into cards. We're going to be doing this with things like Quasar, the Puppeteer, and Shieldred. All three of these cards either deal damage or provide us some life gain upon us drawing cards. Not to mention Shieldred is going to be dealing damage when the opponent is drawing cards as well, which means this deck of course is going to have a ton of ways to draw a bunch of cards. One of those ways I wanted to talk about was our Stowaway mixed with the Kaito. It's a nice little early 2 to 3 drop to get the game started. The Stowaway can't be blocked, which works really great with Kaito because Kaito is going to be drawing cards whenever a creature attacks. Not to mention if the Stowaway flips over, it's also going to be drawing us cards as well. So we're going to start early, often, and fast. And then also we have a backup wincon in Teferi. Teferi is going to be able to spit out these spirit tokens that of course can win us the game because they're going to get absolutely massive. But Teferi is very likely to be ulted in a deck like this. Like I said, ton of ways to draw cards. We're trying to win the game through drawing a bunch of cards, so it wouldn't surprise me if we're able to ult Teferi a couple of times. But the deck's a ton of fun, and if you guys want a full deck breakdown and discussion on it, we're going to do it at the end of today's video, so stick around for that. In the meantime, there's links below for the full deck list, and if you guys enjoy content just like this, if you wouldn't mind giving the video a like, subscribe, all that good stuff helps out an absolute ton, and I would greatly appreciate it. With that being said though, enjoy today's video. We'll see you at the end. Peace. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today might be my favorite Quasar deck we've put together in quite some time, which is hard to beat some of the ones we made in the past. I've really enjoyed Quasar in the past quite a bit. If you guys know, and you guys are, been here for a while, you guys know this. But opening things up here with some pretty good stuff here. I think we can get away with this. I don't love it not having a third land, but you know what? The Suspicious Stowaway drawing us cards should be able to get us there. But yeah, we've got some really fun new tools in this deck, man. A lot of really good things, Gix being one of those tools. Not to mention the Teferi we just top decked. Up against soldiers, you hate to see that, especially going second, but we may be able to do something here, do something with the flash mechanics, Infernal Grasp, Fairy Vandal. We've got some tools here. Opponent not doing anything on turn 3. Looks like they may have missed the third land drop here. Wow, that's actually going to be very big time for us here. Very big time. Let's see if this gets removed off the battlefield though. Looks like it does. We do get a clue token though, which is super helpful for our game plan. We're gonna get down Gix, which can stop the officer from attacking in going forward. This was a very scary matchup, and the fact that we were going second also had me pretty shooketh. But the opponent's off to a bit of a slow start here, so I feel like I want to just maybe blow this up or whatever they play next and then clue token. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn here. I'm gonna stay defensive. There's really no need for me to attack into the opponent. They'd probably let us go and get a card, but I don't think that's necessary, especially because we're gonna take a damage for that card. So we need to make sure we are prepared here for what's to come, like things like this. And the opponent can't attack into us, so let's just eat up the clue token now. We know what's going on here. See, now that changes things. That's going to offer us a potential card draw with the Kaito as well. So I'm going to go ahead and attack this time. This is a 2-card swing as opposed to just the one we were going to get last turn. And it could leave us with the ability to use the Infernal Grasp still because we find our land drop. Let's go. That is huge. All right, and a Silver Scrutiny to top things off there. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, this is going very well now. Another officer, don't love that. Don't really want to use an Infernal Grasp on an officer. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't love it. Wish we would have got a much better target. This was a very good target to hit. We need stuff like that. Some big hitters for the opponents. But we do have a Teferi here now. Teferi's token here is just going to go absolutely out of hand if the opponent allows us to just keep attacking in and drawing cards. Oh, that's not good. I still draw a card straight up though because we did attack technically, so we do get that value. Would have been nice to get the extra card though. No attacks from the opponent, which means they are probably dead in the water, if I'm being honest. There's not much left for them to be able to do here. We've got so much value on board. Let's draw a card here with Teferi first. Nice. Gaining life now too, which is pretty amazing. Kill their officer. Draw another card with Kaito. I mean, it just value trained for days. Now that Shieldred's on the field and we're gaining life, I really don't see what the opponent can do. Could have played the stowaway there, but there's really no need. That's fine. Let's just create another 2/2 here.
Who's that handsome devil?
And do we silver scrutiny for a boatload, or do we maybe just do one of these? Let's do one of these. All right, the opponent did scoop it up there. There was really nothing they could do. We were on an absolute roll there. Not to mention they were not on a roll. You know, keeping a 2-lander didn't feel very good for them, I'm sure. But we absolutely crushed that. Let's go. Well, that was a great start to the video. I'm glad it got to show the versatility of this deck, though. It's not just a Quasar or Puppeteer deck. It's also a Teferi deck. It's very much a Teferi deck that can win the game. There are other cards that can win the game here. The Unspeakable can win the game. It is just a very, very versatile build here. And the opponent goes first, but our opening hand here is very, very nice. As long as our stowaway doesn't get removed off the field, we're in good shape. And we see Orzhov colors. We're going to have to hope and pray this sticks around for at least a turn. All right, there were no priority sticks there. Love that. And it's a wedding announcement. All right, we're good. We are good. And I say we're good because it's probably going to allow us to find a land here, I would hope. That's not a tap source, at least. Ah, it is a tap source. Bummer. Okay, well, we do have to drop a card. It cannot be this land. I think it's going to have to be... Wow, this is tough. This is really tough. I guess that's going to have to be the drop. All right, let's end our turn and then maybe look to do some Infernal Grasping here. We did just transform, though, into the other side of the card, which allows us to draw cards. But I still needed to stick around for one whole turn here in order for us to see any sort of advantage off of that. Which is going to be tough to do. Or not. Okay. Okay, we're kind of cruising right now. We're kind of cruising right now. Let's attack into the opponent here. Draw another card. And it's a land. Beautiful. Things are going smooth at the moment. Not to mention, we got another card here.
With the right tools? Thanks.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Loving it. Loving it. We got a lot of, life gain potentially on the way with things like, Quasar and Shieldred here. These are our win cons. But if we do find a land again here off the top, I may just go with the Teferi, because Teferi's loyalty as well as the spirit token it's going to create is going to get really, really high if we find that land off the top, because we draw 2 cards per turn. Missed the land drop. Bummer. Okay, we missed the land drop before attacking into the opponent, which, we kind of anticipated as a possibility, but that does mean Behold the Unspeakable may be the play we can go with here. Or is it Shieldred? I'm not sure. Could be Shieldred. Now let's go Quasar. I keep changing my mind. I keep changing my mind, and it's tough. But you know what? I'm going to go Quasar because it pings the opponent for damage. I need to start looking to damage them a little bit more per turn. Nice, we get a land. Needed that. Again, Fairy Vandal's gonna have to go. It is another win con of ours, but as far as our hand goes, it's pretty stacked here, and I don't want to lose out on the Infernal Grasps. Those may be important later, especially if Shieldred comes down here. It's Wandering Emperor looking to remove my 2/1, I would imagine.
Feel the energy of battle, then guide it like water. My judgment is final.
Okay. Okay, what do we do here? This does feel like a Teferi moment, but at the same time, it feels like I don't know. I don't know. I think we're gonna do this, and then we're gonna try to get him with a couple Infernal Grasp plays here. And a second Infernal Grasp here doesn't exactly cut it. We're still dead, so we're gonna allow this to just kill one of these, and then we're just gonna replay Quasar. I think that's fine. And we get a land, which is helpful because it allows us to maybe play Teferi and then hold an Infernal Grasp potentially. There's a chance here we're gonna have to let 4 damage get through to Kaito, which is not the end of the world, but it is a little bit lame. All right, that's enough to kill it. So we might lose Kaito here. That's a real bummer.
Oh, there will be a next time.
All right. It is time, I think, for Teferi to come down, make its appearance, and we're going to create a spirit token. And the next thing I'm going to do is probably just use the Infernal Grasp at instant speed here to take out the 6/4. I know they draw a card off the deal, but you know what? It's all good. We're going to outvalue them in the late game, I believe, with all the card draw, so we should be fine. All right, here they go. They're going to swing through for the attack. We are going to try to hit them with the Infernal Grasp. I would imagine it's going to stick here. There's not much they can do unless they're running some sort of crazy sacrifice deck, and I don't know it yet. All right, they get the extra card. Do they have what it takes, though, to blow up Teferi? They don't have enough mana in their tank for an Infernal or an Invoke Despair because there's not enough black sources, but they did just find an Oblivion. Taking out one of their wedding announcements for that play. That's crazy. All right. Another Teferi seems like a pretty fun idea, honestly. Just keep creating these absolutely nasty threats on the board here. Not to mention we can cycle away the tower for a surprise block, maybe. And if you notice, we've really just been pinging them to death with this Quasar over and over again. Just eating their life total up as slowly as possible. But you know what? It's still getting the job done. And what else happening here? It looks like they might want to go again with the Oblivion. It wouldn't surprise me, but are they going to have a fresh one in hand, or are they going to have to spend 4 mana in total to get rid of Teferi? I do wonder. All right, they're just sending the attack through. I am going to block this time here. And that should take care of the Trespasser for now, which they didn't attach the artifact to, which I'm surprised. Not to mention they didn't use it as a tool to remove Teferi, so a lot of value to be had there in that trade. I know we did lose a really good creature, but I think overall, completely worth it. AO, huh? That's a card. AO is a card. I do feel like... Gosh, that thing flies, man, which is such a bummer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can play Gix and I can play the Unspeakable, which would bring this down to a 4/5, giving me a pretty good attack. Yeah, we're gonna do that. And then what I'm gonna do on top of that is create another spirit token.
Nobody knows the past better than me.
And Teferi does die, but man, did I do that right? I don't think I did that right. It's fine though. It's fine. We have Quasar, we have the Unspeakable. The Unspeakable is going to draw us 2 cards. We are giving up the Teferi here on this turn. I am aware. That's fine. Not what I wanted to do, but you know what? It's going to have to do for now.
The truth still eludes me.
I thought for some reason the power the AO was going to have was not going to be enough to get the job done against my spirit token, but it definitely was. All right, Behold the Unspeakable finds us a charm, which could be helpful to some extent with the counter. And they scoop it up, which honestly, not that surprising. We definitely were starting to make the end game rounds here as far as getting them, you know, completely depleted out. We had, you know, a puppeteer coming in this next turn. And we could have gotten a Kaito back from the graveyard this turn with the charm as well. So that would have been some extra card draw, not to mention a few attacks. And, you know, yeah, that would have been really, really nice. But the opponent didn't want to see it to the end, which is a little bit of a bummer because there's still a lot of game to be played. But I guess GG's. Yeah, that was a pretty surprising scoop by the opponent. I'm not going to lie. I am not going to lie. Thought for sure that was going to go a little bit further, but I'm pretty happy with the result. Obviously, I thought we had a pretty good game. I'm gonna go blue and then probably here and then get the stowaway down. All right, wish me luck for the stowaway survivability. It looks like we might be up against soldiers. We are going first though, so I feel like we have a pretty good match here. We'll see. And they allow me to transform. That is very good for us. Let's attack in and see what happens here with this draw. It's a Gix, huh? Does this get countered maybe? No, no counter. All right. Definitely think it's soldiers, right? We'll see, I guess. Very happy we found an Infernal Grasp if it is soldiers, that's for sure. And here's where things get frosty. All right, that's gonna sting a bit, but that's fine. That is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and play out the puppeteer before I do anything else because the puppeteer is gonna obviously dish out damage and gain us life. But if I can get this to resolve a single turn without getting removed, Gix coming down next turn with both of these creatures on the field is an absolute crazy combination. All right, I'm getting a bit nervous now because I do feel like the opponent is running out a control deck, which means that we are very much susceptible here to a Wandering Emperor. All right, I'm gonna go Gix still. I think it's still the play. I do believe that they're wanting to play that Wandering Emperor out. So what I'm gonna do here to avoid that is I'm going to attack him with just the ninja for now. Surprise, surprise.
I am the Emperor of Kamiko.
That's gone. They gain 2, but I still get to draw the full card here, which is going to help a lot with dealing that damage. We drew into another Kaito, which could be helpful later. We'll see. That's something in my eye. Bummer. All right, so now they're on the 5 mana. Are we going to see the real thing here I'm really worried about is depopulate and what else?
Let your blade do the talking.
Depopulate and oh my goodness, what is the card? See, I don't remember what it's called. Why am I blanking on its name? Exile everything on the board. You guys know what I'm talking about. How the heck am I forgetting its name? All right, we attack with everything, right? Farewell. My goodness, farewell. Such an easy card name to remember too. It is getting late here though, so I'm very tired. All right, drawing 2 cards here. Drawing 2 cards. We find a Shieldred and a land. All right, let's go with the Shieldred play here. And we'll draw another card. Maybe. Silver Scrutiny. They do that before the Shieldred resolves. Very smart. They definitely didn't want to take that extra damage. And it's another land. I discard. You know what? Actually, the Stowaway's a better drop right now than the Fairy Vandal. Fairy Vandal's a wincon potentially. See how that goes. I would imagine Depopulate or Farewell will be coming down this next turn. I hope not, but you never know. I have a full grip of cards in hand though, so I would imagine that even if they Farewell us here, we're in a pretty good spot. Yep, there it is. We're in a pretty solid spot though, because we have this. We draw a card, we ping them for 1, and if we can get them low enough, we can actually just hit him with a Invoke Despair for the win, which is what I'm trying to do here. End our turn. We'll flash in the Fairy Vandal if we need to. See if the opponent wastes like an entire farewell again to clear off the board. We'll see. I have seen opponents do that when they don't have the spot removal necessary for the game. They just throw down another big sweeper just to clean up the board. All right, Fairy Vandal is live. Opponent taking another point of damage here. I am going to do this prior to combat just so that way the Fairy Vandal can get bigger and, you know, percent lethal. When it goes to 5, we got 5 damage on board. Clearly there's got to be something here for removal. Wandering Emperor makes sense. All right, they're going to gain 2, but if that's their only play, Invoke Despair gets the job done. But I am afraid of a counterspell. That is for sure. Have we seen any counterspells? We have not. We've not seen any counterspells. What are the odds this resolves? So very low. I'm going to go with this route. Oh, wow. There were 0 priority holds. I definitely would have won the game there. Wow. I thought for sure we needed to not throw that down. It wouldn't have won us the game because they would have taken 2 of the damage off because of the Wandering Emperor being out there, but still would have put us in a prime position to close. Lay down arms. That's fine. We gained 3 life off the deal. And they didn't have enough planes there in order to take out the Quasar, which is going to end up hurting them pretty badly. And if we see them -1 here off the Wandering Emperor, that's a pretty desperate move. All right, they +1, which means they have something. They have some form of removal spell here. I guess let's try to attack. And it's... Ooh. Dang, and if I draw 3 here, that's not enough to do it. Wow, we were so close. But they are tapped out. Sorry, my Alexa just kicked on. I don't know why. Again, just... Well, actually, hold on. We do win the game here. What am I saying? We are actually going to draw cards off the deal, which kicks in Quasar's ability. So I was actually incorrect earlier. I definitely still had lethal there from the Invoke Despair because of Quasar's ability. I completely forgot about that combination. So they are actually dead here. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. Lovely. On to the next one. All right. Almost missed lethal there. I promise, guys, I'm just getting tired. That's all. Just getting tired. Hopefully I'm not misplaying, but I hope to keep playing good games. Just don't expect me to see things so fast. All right, I'm gonna mulligan that. That is as good as a hand as that looked like with the early game with the, you know, Fairy Vandal. There just wasn't much there for the mana. Again, another very interesting hand that could get us in trouble here. As much of a bummer as this is, I think I'm gonna have to mulligan again. The good news about this deck is that mulligans don't necessarily hurt us a ton if we find a good hand with, like, let's say some early Kato, which we just found. And the reason being is because it draws us cards like crazy and it can refill our hand pretty fast. And let's see what the opponent's on here. I do like that I'm going first though with the Kaito being our first play, because not having anything until turn 3 isn't ideal. Not to mention even if we did have a 2-drop, we couldn't play it anyways because our lands are not set up for that. Ooh, mono red though. Shieldred's gonna have to get us out of this mess. Couldn't ask for a better card to get us out of the mess though, other than Shieldred. So much life gain tied into that thing, and not to mention it's a big body, and mono red doesn't have very many tools that can help get rid of it unless they're willing to double it down on some spells. Do some 2-for-1 action. Swift Spear back down. And an Epic Jar. Okay. Another Shieldred. All right, we create the 1/1. We are looking to do some card draw, so I don't imagine we're going to make any blocks here. Might have to just eat this damage, unfortunately. They get a land and a way to draw a card. Oh, wow. Okay. There goes the 1/1. Alrighty. Down to 8 already. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Alright, let's go ahead and draw a card here. Gain some life. You know what? I'm taking the stowaway here. Ah, man, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think I see the stowaway making its way to the field anytime soon. Let's just keep the shielded out there. If they go double down on the removal, we will be ready for that and play a second shielded. Ah, man, this is going to be tough, though, because no matter what they do here, they're probably going to swing all at Kaito to make sure it dies. Gee, you really don't want that to happen, right? I guess if we want to, though, we could just, you know, throw down the Gix next turn, let the Kaito die, don't block with the Shieldred. Or they just don't respect Kaito, and that's fine too. Okay. They definitely don't respect it. There's a strong possibility they play another burn spell on Shieldred or at my face to grow this to a certain level. It's very, very much likely. But they left Kaito alive, so I'm willing to eat it. And that's enough, unfortunately, to kill us. Lightning Strike was perfect to just end the game. You know, that's mono red, though, for you. We didn't have a very fast start, so we get punished for it. It's all good. Mono red, a very, very good deck right now, unfortunately. You know, mono red can be brutal right now, but yeah, we didn't have the hand for that. I do think we have a pretty good matchup for mono red sometimes, just because we have so much life gain in this deck with things like Shieldred and Quasar, but that was a bit slow for that matchup. This is a bit slow as well, but hopefully it's not mono red. Everything indicates that it is, but all right, cool. We're not mono red. Nice. Oh, that's not good though. Opponent reveals a hand, chooses an artifact or creature card. Oh, okay. That's a bummer. There goes Shieldred. Puppeteer still intact though, which I'm pretty happy about. I love that card. I think it's honestly maybe in my build a little bit better than Shieldred, just because it's dealing that damage when we draw cards. Never mind, it's gone. The opponent off to a fantastic start of annoying me, but you know what? It's all good. We have Kaito, so we're gonna be able to recover pretty easily with card advantage. Sure, show me another one. Yep, there it is. There it is, and then there goes Kaito. So, oh brother. Oh, had we gone first, we would have been fine, but going second, not so much. All right, I you know what? This is what we're doing. This is our thing. I mean, I'm having fun. I'm having fun. All right, let's go ahead and try to get it to turn to nighttime. That way we can get the stowaway to get us some value here. Oh, that's actually value too, though. We don't really need it to be nighttime now, do we? Take action. And we drop you. You know what? Let's double the stowaway, double the fun. Double the stowaway, double the fun. Blood Pact, draw 2 cards, lose 2 life, and duress. Dang it, I was hoping that would make it at least 1 turn cycle. That's good. I can do it for 3, but you know what? We're gonna attack first anyways and find out what we get. Yes, draw. Yes, draw. Yes, draw. We'll drop you. We'll drop you. And we'll do this for 3 right now. 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna do it for 3 because we want to hit a land drop. All right, look at that. We're refueled and ready to go. The only issue being that the opponent has a evolved sleeper on the field. You hate to see that. That's fine. We'll take away 1 stowaway. It was doing work for us, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta give it up. Pilfer. What do you got? What you gonna take? What you gonna take, huh? Not so tough once I refill my hand, huh? Pick whatever you want, man. I don't even care. I don't even care, man. All right. That would be pretty fun actually to do this ability, wouldn't it? Exile top X cards to opponent's library. You may play lands and cast spells among the cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. That's pretty busted. X cards, target opponent's library. You may. Nah. Nah.
There are many secrets I don't know.
Send this through.
Not from all.
Draw a card.
Take my zombies and leave.
It's not a bad card either. We can draw 2 more with the scrutiny, or we can go Vandal. Either way, I'm pretty happy with the results. See what the opponent's going to do here. I would imagine it's going to be some sort of discard effect. That's annoying. All right, we're going to throw away the Vandal, I think, here. Because the Vandal... Well, hold on. Maybe not. Vandal goes over the top. I'm going to go and do one of these. Stowaway is guaranteed damage, but I don't think Mono Black's going to be able to answer the flying, so either way, I'm pretty happy. Unspeakable's pretty cool. They're really keeping me at bay though with this evolved sleeper, can't lie. Alright, the opponent has some sort of priority hold here. I don't know what that would be, but I guess it's just the evolved sleeper probably triggering its ability though. That thing always triggers its abilities even if you've already done certain levels of the ability. So that's probably the only thing holding the priority at the moment. Could be a cut down though. You never know. You never know. Let's give him a second here. Let's get this first rope down before I say anything. But I do imagine that they are not paying attention or they are roping us. Either way, I'll give him a year go here. I'll give him a year go. Man, they're gonna make me do some editing, huh? I hate editing these videos. I hate editing these videos more than I have to. But when the opponents do these types of things, I'm gonna have to. So you may see us on the other side here. Nope, it looks like they're actually back right away. Okay, right when I said that. Might have had a slight disconnect there. Nice, it's a land. Fairy Vandal grows. We get another card. Very nice. I'm going to go with the Unspeakable this turn, and then we'll look to do some Silver Scrutiny after that. End our turn. All right. Evolve Sleeper, sure. And the last card is a Bank Buster. Love it. All right. I love our odds here. The board has been officially established, and I love our odds. I do not know why they would do something like that. They're going to shame scoop now. Great. Oh, they clicked the wrong sleeper. Feels bad, man. I thought for sure they were going to shame scoop and rage, but they did not. Impressive. That's a definite keep on the top there. Nice. Now we're going to put him in a no-win situation here because I'm going to go ahead and play Shieldred and Quasar here. And then that way, either way, if I'm drawing cards or they're drawing cards, they're taking damage. So they just can't be drawing cards. Not to mention that they want to be drawing cards with both Bankbuster and the Sleeper. And the Sleeper wants to deal damage to themselves while they're drawing those cards. So this is all going to go very sideways very quickly for the opponent. If, of course, they aren't roping us. What is going on? Why do people do this? Why is it even a priority hold right now, man? I obviously know they can create the Bank Buster, but that is just so frustrating. All right, might make an edit here. We'll see. And somehow we're back again. Okay, well, let's try to finish this up quickly before they make us sit through all of this. All right, we're going to attack over the top again for another 3 damage. And we're going to draw another card. And we're going to draw another card. And we're back to 16. The opponent's at 9. And again, if they want to draw any cards off the Bank Buster or the Evolved Sleeper here, they're going to be taking damage. So I would imagine this game's about as good as over as it can be. Started off rough with all of the discarding, but you know, we had so many draw effects that it wasn't too much of an issue for us to have to deal with. So feeling pretty good about that. Misery Shadow is a very good card, but not good enough to get the job done, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I'm just going to go ahead and draw like 7 cards next turn and just win the game here. They can have all these attacks. I really don't care. And we draw a Puppeteer. So all I need to do is draw 6 here and I win. So that's exactly what we're going to do. And that leaves us with 1 mana left over. But doesn't matter. They're dead either way. Quasar gets the job done. So there it is. GG's. All right. Let's go. Love that. That game took way too long than it needed to. But you know what? Very good victory. I'm happy. Yes. Thank you for asking. All right. One last game for the road before we hit it. The breakdown. Let's get to 92% here, guys. Let's do it. This month is coming to a close, though. This actually might be the last time I'm even playing Magic until the month does come to a close. We'll see, but it was a good season for us, man. We got to Mythic pretty quickly, honestly. A lot quicker than we normally do, so I'm pretty happy with the outcome here. Could have been better, obviously, if we played, you know, all of our stronger decks and meta decks all the time, but we have to, unfortunately, explore and figure out cool decks for you guys. So with that being said, we risk the tanking of the rank, you know what I mean? All right, we got a Kaito down as well as a Fairy Vandal already generating a ton of value for us. That's annoying, I will be honest. That is a bit brutal. That is a bit brutal. I'm gonna go here. Obviously, I know I can lose this pretty fast, but I'm gonna go ahead and get some extra cards while we're at it, though. All right, another Fairy Vandal's interesting, I guess. This is going to go off right away, though. There's no hesitation on that. Not a surprise, but they do lose their Bank Buster off the deal, so I'll take it. I think I'm going to go Fairy Vandal. What's the best play here? This is probably the most maximized our mana can get, so maybe this is the move. I guess this is the move. There's really not going to be any creatures for us to have the level 1 be a relevant thing anyway, so might as well play it. Okay.
This is my city. I'm going.
A Ganjo. All right. It's got the shield counter on it. And, ooh, a Teferi is beautiful. Couldn't ask for a better find there off the top. Let's go ahead and get it down and get the spirit token right away. Man, and we're sitting on a fat Silver Scrutiny this early, too. Potentially 5 cards next turn. Potentially getting Teferi very close to alting. Not quite there, though. Maybe get another spirit token and just get 2 absolutely overgrown massive tokens. The opponent, though, running all these Silax sort of spells, I would imagine they're also going to be running things like Depopulate and Farewell. Been running into those sort of things a lot lately, so would not be surprising. They have nothing to put a counter onto, which is great for us. But they do get 2 1/1s to make some blocks against the Elspeth. All right, we are going to go for another spirit token, like I said. Not to mention, man, there's so many ways we can go with this. So many ways, and I'd be happy with any of them, to be honest. I think we start things off though with an attack. We start things off with an attack here. It's about what I expected. And then maybe Shieldred into the Fairy Vandal next turn. All right, that way if the opponent does sweep the board here in some fashion, I can at least flash in the Fairy Vandal, go over the top to kill the Elspeth. Opponent's only got 3 cards in hand though, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. There's a depopulate though. We had a feeling. Bummer. But it does reset the field, and Elspeth has nowhere to go again with its loyalty.
Show 'em what you got.
Flashing in our own Fairy Vandal here. And we are going to have to plus this, which is going to make Fairy Vandal a much bigger threat here with its abilities. And what else, though? What else? We attack in over this for 2. And then just Silver Scrutiny for what? 3, 4, 5 potentially? Doesn't feel right, not gonna lie. Doesn't feel right. These turns just feel a little clunky, the way that they're playing and what they've got to offer the field. It just feels like some clunky playing here, but there's not much I can do about it if I'm being honest. Smart by them to draw the card before the Shieldred resolves. We're gonna get down to Gix as well though. Protect the Teferi the best we can. They're gonna probably give one of these 1/1s flying though, I would imagine, so they can go over the top on the Teferi, but it puts it down to 1 loyalty, keeping us off of the Spirit token, which is actually really good.
I know there's a hero inside you.
Yep, they give it the flying, not surprising. And if they have a Wandering Emperor, they can actually take out the Teferi, which would be such a bummer. They don't. That's good. That's good. Maybe another depopulate though. That would really suck. I can't lie. I can't lie. That would be so unfortunate. All right, they do take damage from the Teferi. Love that. I'm not Teferi, the Shieldred. Otherworldly Light. All right. Couple more of those. What to do? Okay, I think we swing with both of these. Gosh darn it. Onto the Elspeth here. Gosh, I don't know what to do. There's not a lot we can do, man. Whoops. I'm all over the place right now. Maybe let's send both of these at Elspeth, right? We have to kill Elspeth. That's not an if and or but situation. That is just a straight up must do. All right, I do kill both of these and this, and then this can kill this. So that's a positive, right? So I let these go? Yeah, I let these go, I think. I let these go. Let this target this. I blow it up. In the meantime, in between time, 3. Let's draw 3 of these. Yeah, let's draw 3. 1, 2, 3. And then we create one of these. Perfect. All right, I think that's about as best as as good as our turn could have gotten. It still doesn't feel great, but it's the best we had, man. It really was. I see the opponent goes for Vigilance. Surprising. By surprising, that was sarcasm, by the way. Infernal Grasp blows us up. They don't crew the Bank Buster as an attacker, which is good for us. Could have been pretty bad. Instead, they go for card draw. All right, and another wedding announcement. It's so lame. All right, that is such a bummer. Okay, what do we do? Can I alt this? 12. So we would need what? So 12 minus 4 would be 8. So we need 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not quite there. 6 cards. So this might have to do the trick for now. And then what else? Kaito maybe is the play here. I don't know. Is Kaito the play here? Immediately draw discard. Yeah, that might be the move.
Powerful won't help. I'll do it
I've got eyes everywhere.
Now this is
I think the stowaway is pretty much a foregone conclusion that we don't really need that anymore. Mana is always helpful because it just means one more card for the Silver Scrutiny. Now we got a 4-powered spirit token that can attack into the Elspeth, and they don't have a great block. There we go. Beautiful. Elspeth, though, still online, still doing the thing, which is really getting me pretty peeved here. All right, they got a 4/4 coming down to crew. And they're going to give it flying. So there goes Teferi. Bummer. But I do have 2 spirit tokens still on the field with an ability to draw a boatload of cards. Maybe close this game out. Not to mention we're drawing 2 cards off of the unspeakable. Ah, man, it just comes down to whether or not they can counter my huge Silver Scrutiny. So far, we've been good on that. I'd also like to maybe figure out a way to deal with the fact that they're going to have 2 blockers in front of me too, though, because it's going to be annoying if they can just keep chumping every time. You know what I mean? I feel like it's got to be like a Quasar, man. We got to get a Quasar down so we can start pinging them to death. Quasar eats up 4 mana, though, which means we can only draw 3 cards if we want to do that. Oh, wow. And then they hit us with a temporary lockdown. Okay. That's annoying. That is annoying. Okay. That's a card. That's a really good card. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're playing some Magic. Let's go. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I should have known. I should have known.
our eyes are everywhere.
I knew the counter spells were not going to be too much further behind, you know, from what they were already doing. I was worried these Silver Scrutinies were going to get hit. At least we got 1 negate out of their hand, I guess, is a bright side of the situation. Another bright side, they did just whiff on the Elspeth as well, which I would imagine Elspeth would whiff pretty consistently in that sort of a build because they're only really running Wedding Announcements and these Spirited Companions out as permanents. Everything else is kind of instant and sorcery speed spells, I would imagine. All right. They've still got mana to work with here, so what do I do, guys? What do I do? I feel like I run out of Silver Scrutiny and just pray. Pray that it hits. But is that a really viable way of playing here? I guess we attack here. It is unblockable. We should start looking to close the game out here. I can't really worry too much about Elspeth, especially if the fact that I can't even kill it with this ninja. All right, they didn't seem to react too heavily to this, but there is something sticking here, and the priority hold is it just these? Yeah, it could just be those. That's not very reliable, is it? I feel like I have to try. I have 9 lands to use here, so 7 total cards. You know what? Let's go for 3 and flash this in. So if I flash 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then 2. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna flash this in and then draw 3 cards. At least I'm gonna try, and at least that way too, it'll allow the opponent to. Dang, if only I had lethal here. I don't, though. I can only draw 7. What a bummer. They tapped out. That would have been the opportunity of a lifetime. Now they're going to give something lifelink, which is what I'm really concerned about.
Be brave.
There it is. Lifelink inbound. Lifelink inbound. Let's go here first. And let's try to draw 3 cards, which would put my flyer at a 6/6 body. Killing this, but they gain the 5 still. The damage has been done, but at least I can go back over the top now with a big 6/6 flyer trample. or I can just die to a farewell. That's also an option. Okay, well, bummer. And they still had another wedding announcement trigger. They draw a card. My turn, and we're gonna go with this. And we're gonna go with this. All right. And we're gonna create the body to attack with, potentially. And what else? This is only a bounce spell. Let's go with counter magic, I think, here. I think just holding up some counter magic here. No Gix. We'll get the Gix in next turn. Look to draw. We'll counter the farewell or anything sort of like that. That's definitely oh, I can't. That's not an instant in sorcery speed. But you know what? I can still bounce the token that it generates. So either way, we're looking good.
You know, I've always got time to fight, Eve.
Either way, looking good, feeling good. Can't be countered either, which is beautiful. That should do it, I hope. I mean, there's still a lot of mana to work with here, but that was a big move for us right there. All right, what can we do now? We can draw up to 10 cards, which is lethal. Man, let's just do... Let's try, man. Let's see what we can do. Let's attack in here. That takes him to 8. Okay, they have something. Okay, they're tapped out. Good. That's all I needed to know. That's all I needed to know. I appreciate you. All right, I think we got this now. 1 land. Am I... No, there's 2 lands. Oh, I'm tripping. There's 2 lands. Okay, we need to deal 8 damage, right? So if I do this for... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That leaves me 2 mana left open. Not enough to counter. Oh my gosh. I have to send it, right? It's 1 card in hand. It's 1 card in hand. If they have it, they have it. If they don't, I win. So here we go. Let's go. Sometimes you just got to do it. You know what I mean? You just got to send it and you got to hope. You got to hope. My goodness, this is going to be a very long video. I apologize. I didn't expect that last game to be so long, but let's break it down. That is going to conclude today's gameplay portion of the video. We are going to jump into the deck breakdown and talk about it a little bit further. Before I do that, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who made it this far into the video. I do appreciate that very much. It helps a ton with the YouTube algorithm. So, you know, you sticking around this long is a lot of help, and I appreciate the support. So thank you for that. With that being said, let's take a look at today's build, man. We had a fun one, let's say that much. I really like this deck. I've always loved Quasar decks. They've been one of my favorites to play. It's just anytime I can get a win con that's not, hey, deal damage traditionally through attacking, or, you know, the control means of making your opponent, you know, quit, you know, through rage. Those types of basic sort of win cons don't interest me. So Quasar is a very interesting card to me because it offers a different way to deal that damage to the opponent, which is a very unique and fun way to play Magic. Not to mention, they just came out with another card, Gixian Puppeteer. This thing does a very similar effect, although it only does, you know, the 2 life and the 2 damage to the opponent on the second card of each turn. So it is limited as far as damage per, you know, turn that you can deal, but it comes with a second attachment here where we can return creatures from the graveyard as well, which is helpful. But Quasar, again, there's pluses and minuses to both. Quasar, you know, sometimes we only are drawing a second card each turn, which is only going to deal the 1 life to the opponent. So Quasar could end up being a worse card, but in spots where you have like a big silver scrutiny, it's better. So I mixed in 3 of each of these, of course. And then of course I had to throw in some Shieldred as well. Shieldred, you know, being able to hurt the opponent upon them drawing cards is also a pretty sadistic way to win. So I thought it was a perfect fit in this build as well. So we've got, you know, the trio of death here. That's kind of how the deck started, and then from there I knew we had to build an Esper deck that drew a lot of cards. So of course, like I said, Silver Scrutiny over the top was one of the best sort of card draws you can have in this build because it draws us a ton of cards in the late game. And then I wanted to make sure we started out very fast and early, so we threw things like the Fairy Vandal and the Suspicious Stowaway in the, you know, early game here as a 2-drop. I do prefer the Suspicious Stowaway over the Fairy Vandal, I'm learning, just because it draws us a card and then we discard, which helps a lot with life gain early on. And it can't be blocked, so it makes Kaito's ability to trigger a lot easier, which Kaito, we really wanted to come down on 3 because of these 2 creatures here. And also Fairy Vandal's ability to grow typically is going to happen after we attack, because Kaito, you know, draws us that card after the fact. So we're losing a little bit of value there. So but that is, I kind of want to jump this up to 4, maybe this down to 2, but these 2 are going to be your 2-drop into Kaito. That's kind of the early game plan that we established, is that, hey, we're going to get down a creature fast, get Kaito down, and draw cards immediately. And from there, after Kaito comes down, one of the big 3 should be hitting the battlefield and you should be gaining life. That's kind of how this was built and designed. And then after that, we're trying to counter things with things like Obscurus Charm to protect our board. Obscurus Charm works as kind of a negate effect, but it also has some backup features. If the opponent kills Kaito along the way, we can then replay Kaito from the graveyard. This can act as essentially another Kaito, or we can destroy our opponent's creature if it's a problematic like Death Toucher or something like that, or something that we can't get through. So this is a very nice utility piece here. And then we also added in a Gix, which if, you know, Kaito's not there, Gix is a nice little secondary option, because this is going to also allow us to draw extra cards through our creatures attacking, which again, we have some pretty elusive creatures. So Gix should always be triggering once it hits the battlefield. And then I added in just a little bit more removal here with the Infernal Grasp. There are going to be big things on the other side of the field we want to deal with. Maybe Shieldred on their own end would be a bit annoying, just because if we're drawing cards could hurt us. So Infernal Grasp is a really nice way to deal with that. And then we have on the top end 2 Behold the Unspeakables, a card that I've actually loved for a very long time. A card that can also win us the game with its backside, the Vision side of it. It becomes a creature with flying and trample, and as big as you know, whatever our hand size is. So if we can just throw down a huge Silver Scrutiny, fill up our hand over the maximum hand size, you can actually run the opponent over with this thing and just win the game. And then Teferi, of course, another wincon, a very fun card to just, you know, get these spirits down, and these spirits go out of control really, really fast. Just a very dangerous planeswalker the opponent's going to have to deal with. And then I splashed in 1 Invoke Despair over the top, just for some spice. You know, I mean, we're not always going to have 4 black sources, so it wasn't something I wanted to run a ton of, but it does draw us cards and disrupt the board state quite a bit, which is why we kind of threw 1 in here. So but yeah, I think that's the whole deck here, guys, we just reviewed, and that's how we took, you know, the time to build it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a ton of fun, and happy Friday to everybody who's watching right now, and I do appreciate you for being here and sticking around all the way to the end. Before I get out of here, as always, there's going to be a huge shout out coming your way to the Mardi Mob. The Mardi Mob, if you guys don't know, is the membership program on the channel, so I want to give them a huge shout out and thank you for being a supporter of the channel. It helps out an absolute ton. You know, it means the world to me, honestly. It's helping the channel grow and getting us closer to what we were ultimately, you know, shooting for in the future. So I want to say thank you for all of the love and support you guys give through those monthly memberships, and I do appreciate you a ton. And a little bit of a heads up to the Mardi Mob. The Mardi Mob is also getting exclusive content. Another box opening coming your way. We'll be doing the Brothers War box opening. I'm actually going to start the recording right now, and you guys should have that hopefully sometime next week. So yeah, that'll do it. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, peace out.
Hit him 3 times like a hat trick. The name is Swayze, you know Patrick. If you play him, then it's tragic. Hit him with the mythic, yeah, that's magic. MTG, that's what you'll see if you like and subscribe. With the upload, man, man, all of the time. Coming with the best decks, this is the meta. This ain't cheap.